Welcome to our show In Conversation. Today we have with us Mr. Neeraj Bansal. He is the chairman in charge, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, country's largest container port, has reported an increase in its cargo handling for the fiscal 2014-15 at 63.8 million tons, as compared to 62.33 during the previous years. In the core container segment, it reported 7.33% growth in traffic handling. Welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you very much, Viren.
There are a few questions actually which your users will like to know, and also our audience or readers, they will like to know.
Definitely.
I would start with, could you please share the expansion plans of the port in terms of capacity?
Viren, for the last 6-7 years, we, as a port, we are focusing more on the capacity which we already had. A lot of things were in the pipeline which are now coming to the final stage. As you are aware, now we are having 330-meter extension jetty, which will be partially commissioned during the month of April or May 2015.
Right, sir.
Fully commissioning will happen somewhere in March 2016. I do hope that it will improve the throughput by around 1 million TEUs in a year. So that's one major capacity addition project which is coming to the reality in a very short time. Besides that, we are having a very ambitious project which is 4th container terminal. The port has already signed one agreement with Port of Singapore. The construction work is on. Reclamation and dredging work will start very soon. This is a mega project. I think single largest investment, foreign investment in India in a port sector. Around 8,000 crore rupees will be invested by Port of Singapore. We are looking at in 7 years, we are going to double our capacity.
Oh, that's
We are looking at a traffic throughput of around 10 million by 2022.
Great.
So a lot of things are happening, and recently we have commissioned our dolphin mooring. Liquid cargo we can handle more. So probably we'll add 1 more million liquid cargo in our throughput during this year. Besides these capacity addition projects, we are more focused on internal efficiency improvement.
Oh, that's really great.
So I'm looking at a figure of around 3 million, not 3 million, 0.3 to 0.4 million addition in the throughput at Mount Terminal in this financial year 15-16. So port is more focused on becoming a really international port in all parameters, in efficiency, in productivity, in throughput, in economy, creating more value for the exim trade. So port is on its course as we had planned, and next few years you will see a dynamic or vibrant port activity at JNPT.
That's really great, and that's really music to the ears for your users, sir. And the next, actually, the question I would come to is, dredging has been an issue for accommodating large vessels in your port, sir. Could you please share with us what you are going to do about it and what is being done about it?
Ministry of Shipping and Government of India both are seized of this requirement. We are conscious about this fact that a lot of things are happening at the global level, and more demand for deeper drafts will come up. So port or government or Ministry of Shipping, we are not ignorant about this fact. But again, because when we talk about JNPT or any other major port, we are talking about a legacy also. So this is a 25 years old port. So all ports have been designed keeping in view the requirement of that time. So now new things are happening. First issue, maintenance dredging work for channel is already in operation. I think within a month's time we'll be completing our regular maintenance dredging work.
If I can interrupt you at this stage, sir.
Yes.
What is the present actually depth which is
We are having a draft of around 14 meter. We completed first phase of capital dredging in 2014. We spent around 1,500 crore rupees on the dredging work. Now we are looking at the feasibility of deepening these drafts to 15 meter.
15 meters.
15 meters.
Okay.
From 14 we'll go to 15 meter, and we'll be catering to the ship size of 9,000 TEUs. So the studies are on. I think by August or September we'll be ready with the reports.
This year?
And this year 2015.
Okay.
And then this decision on this capital dredging, increasing the draft from 14 to 15 will be taken up. Lot of stress from or emphasis from the government of India that we should cater to exim trade in a much better, efficient manner. So ports have been given a target to identify certain locations to start new ports.
Okay.
So JN Port is also in this process of identifying few locations where we can set up a natural draft port with a draft around 20 meters.
Right, sir.
So the work is on. We have already identified few sites. Formalities are going on, so we'll be carrying out studies. So by the time the real need of very deep sized, deep drafted ports come up, I am sure that JN Port will be in a position to have another international port with a natural draft around 20 meters.
But are you going to cater only to the container terminals, or you're also looking at dry bulk terminals? Because as of now what we can see is the liquid bulk and the container, they constitute the major amount of your cargo. So are you going to focus on the dry bulk as well, or break bulk for that
See,
matter?
it all depends how you look at the ports. If I am having a Bombay Port Trust in my vicinity, which is serving to the bulk cargo,
Yeah.
and I am a specialized container cargo terminal, both have different kind of synergies and energies. Both have different kind of infrastructures. So the moment I think of changing my port from one special category to a general category, it's a huge challenge, may not be very efficient for the exim trading. So as far as JNPT is concerned, we are not looking at bulk cargo in that sense. We are looking at to be a very specialized container cargo port, besides handling cement or bulk in a limited quantity and the liquid cargo. But as far as the new port is concerned, there we will be looking at all these facilities. And it's heartening that few new small ports have come up in the vicinity. They will be also catering to the break bulk cargoes. So all depends on demand and supply.
Right,
So
right.
I cannot be very rigid with the thought process that at this time I'll be having this particular kind of port. But depending upon, because it's a dynamic process, thought process is on, we are still examining a lot of issues. But as our existing JNPT facility is concerned, we want to be more focused on container.
Right, sir. So congestion has been a very big issue, actually a major issue if I can say that. And there have been newspaper reports and also talks about the time which is lost, ultimately adding to the cost of the logistic chain, sir.
Yes.
Could you please share your thoughts on that? Update us on
I agree with you. Congestion has been an issue for last several years. It's not a recent problem. It's a problem for the last 10 years, if I can say to be with numbers. Honorable Minister, Ministry of Shipping and Port itself, we all three are very conscious about this major problem, which is a serious setback for exim trade. There are few reasons and few solutions. Few reasons are that probably the industry or stakeholders have pressed the panic button. So hinterland cargo is starting on the hinterland, taking 2 days margin, thinking that there is a traffic at JNPT.
Yeah.
So that cargo is on the road of JNPT for 2 days. So that becomes the additional liability for the port.
Okay.
The cargo is not for export at that particular day when the TT is reaching here. So that 2 days, my roads are blocked because of that. So I have requested my stakeholders, all shipping lines, transporters, CHAs, CFS, that kindly convince the trade in the hinterland that there is no such traffic problem.
Okay.
So, as I have analyzed during the last 7-8 months, this is the main reason, congestion.
Okay.
Congestion is a regular problem at one of my PPP operators terminal.
Okay.
It's because of their operational issues that they close the doors during certain hours and the traffic gets piled up. We are taking up these issues with them. So few things we are doing at operational level where we are trying to address this problem of congestion. If you are interacting with the stakeholder, then few initiatives port has taken up. Like we have made entry at the port gates through web-based system. So now no hard copy of gate pass is required, which we used to call form number 13 or 11. That is not required now. So TTs can come with the unique identity number, which is passed on. As per that, the data is generated on the web, and trucks are allowed inside. Second step we have taken regarding inter-terminal movement between GTI vis-a-vis JNPCT and JNPCT vis-a-vis NSICT. NSICT facility is a new one, while GTI facility is almost 2.5 months old. This facility is already stabilized. Every day 400 trucks are entering GTI with the export cargo, dropping the export cargo in GTI, then make a sideways movement. Instead of coming to the road again and getting in the queue for JNPCT, sideways movement to JNPCT, coming out, picking up a import cargo.
Okay,
so with this transaction, he is completing two business transactions. Otherwise, it used to complete one transaction while coming out and then getting in queue for the JNPCT. I do hope the new facility which was started with JNPCT and NSICT will also get stabilized. Again, 300, 400 TTs will be moving this way.
Okay.
So with this single initiative, we will be removing 800 trucks from the road.
Okay, so that's simplified.
Little bit more synergy, more economy for the trade. Then third step, what we have taken is we are monitoring this gate in, gate out timing.
Okay.
It's a misnomer that trucks are parked here for days. Some truck come here and the truck stands there for days together, and then the entry is allowed. Gate in, gate out time which we have worked out is maximum is 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours?
Yes,
okay.
3.5 hours. There is a gate in and gate out phenomena happens with one particular TT.
Okay.
We have done this same exercise with gate in from GTI and getting out from JNPCT by inter-terminal movement. It is taking 5.5 hours.
Oh, that's a big improvement, I would say.
I don't know the international timings, but you kindly compare it. Kindly compare it how international traffic moves, what is the timing at other international ports. But I'm sure this must be very reassuring for the trade that we are conscious about this fact and this kind of timing is happening. In gate in, gate out phenomena, I do agree there will be a lot more time wasted from pre-gate to the gate entry. But as explained earlier, most of the problem are happening because of factory stuffed containers coming 2 days in advance. If those are not coming, yes, yes.
Yeah.
But again, as a port authority, I can make my stakeholder conscious about this fact. Ultimate discipline has to be brought in by every stakeholder by pitching in this way.
Right, sir.
So,
what about, sorry to interrupt you at this stage actually, but this message has gone to all the ship agents, all the CHAs, that they do not.
Our
really
challenge
need
is
to...
this: when I am talking to stakeholders on one-to-one basis, everybody says yes, there is a lot of improvement.
Okay.
But I am surprised there is no news in the media.
Okay.
So whenever the timing goes higher because of some particular reason, because of some strike, because of some slowdown, there are a lot of news in the media. But I wish people should be very fair with us. When there is an improvement, if my team, if my officers who are working on this day in, day out, they just get a little bit of encouragement in this fashion, I think they will double their effort.
So this is the news for our viewers and also for our readers, that there is an efficiency, and please note it.
No, but there are more into it. So traffic doesn't end with this only. Recently we have given 2 holding yards to GTI and NSICT. And these facilities port has extended without charging any money. It's on a nominal price basis we have given these holding yards. Our request with the 2 terminal was, kindly bring in your factory stuffed containers which are not getting routed through CFS to these holding yards. Get their documents complete and then release them at the time of gating. Right. Unless these trucks are not removed from the road, which have accidentally or incidentally landed at the port 2 days in advance, these terminal operators have to pitch in to really regulate it. So 2 parking areas we have already given to GTI and NSICT. Both facilities around 6 hectares in measurement. I think within the next 15-20 days, both will stabilize. Both will start operating, and then this traffic will be further regulated. These are the initiative in terms of monitoring, policy issues and everything. Besides that, there are mega plans we have started in terms of infrastructure.
Yeah, that's correct.
We have started with a central parking plaza. It's a 45 hectare of land which we are converting into parking area for factory stuff containers. So trucks can come, can get parked here. We'll be having this will be custom bound area.
Okay.
We'll be having all facilities for them, dormitories, repair shops, food, even other facilities.
So all solutions at one place.
All solution. Work is in full swing, but being a infrastructure project, it's taking its own time in completion. I think by end of 2017, this facility should be ready.
Okay.
So this will come as a big relief to the overall trade. Along with that, the port, along with NHAI, is in the process of constructing 6 and 8 lane evacuation corridor from JNPT to the national highways. And the total cost is 3,250 crore rupees. So once this facility comes, I think tenders have already been issued. Bid process will start on 15th of May. The timeline given is 2 years, in which the project should complete. NHAI will be the executing agency, and funding will be done through banking, where JNPT will stand as a surety. Okay. So even that project is on. So once that project comes, then we have a direct connectivity to the highways, reducing this congestion, evacuation time which it takes in taking out the import cargo, giving more comfort to the nearby villages, because once I'm having flyovers, so it will have lesser interaction with the local population.
Right, sir.
So in right earnest, port is trying to work on all fronts possible. Monitoring on daily basis at port level, bringing on more system efficiency, as I have explained to you, and third, supported by infrastructure.
Right, sir.
Because once I am going for fourth container terminal, doubling my capacity in 7 years, the main challenge or main worry for the trade could be how the traffic will be handled.
Absolutely.
Along with this, DFCC dedicated freight corridor is coming up. Our rail share is around 18% today. We are looking at a rail share of 30-35%.
Okay.
So if DFCC comes in time, obviously government is very serious about it. They are also working on that. So we are looking at a rail share of 30-35%. Road infrastructure we are improving, systems we are changing, and we are open to suggestions where public or stakeholders can give us suggestions which can be implemented, which can bring in more efficiency. So port is conscious of this congestion issue, but my call is this issue has been exaggerated. It's not that big as has been projected in media. So my request will be the stakeholders can come, have a look at this,
and please write to him, and we will see, the effect after that.
Yes.
It's very, very important that we give the right kind of feedback so that the things move and the projects are actually implemented. Yeah. So this leads to actually one more serious question,
Yes.
and that is about the labor issues. We have seen from time to time actually the strikes in the port, which actually lowers the efficiency of the port, sir. Would you like to say something about it, sir?
Yes, in recent past we had 3 incidents where slowdown has happened at one particular private terminal, and again small labor issues which have been blown out of proportion. But whatsoever the case may be, ultimately it has caused a huge damage to the exchange trade. Whenever there are lines at the port roads, piling up of traffic, drivers getting unrest because of the slowdown, it really hits my port very badly. We are in regular dialogue with our private terminal operators. We want to create a synergy between the 3 terminals so that we pitch in for each other. There should be alarm system or there should be forwarding system at place. If some terminal is facing some difficulty, port should be informed about it, which sometimes doesn't happen in time. If we are prepared, we have some emergency programs, plannings in case of any slowdown or strike, so that trade doesn't suffer that much. So we are in this process of working out a comprehensive plan where first to avoid these kind of incidents. Secondly, if at all it happens, then port must be in a position to provide comfort to the exit trade.
Absolutely.
So we are serious about it.
Right, sir. This brings me to the next question. Actually, if we see the major portion of your cargo comes from North India, sir. And as you are aware that there are major private ports which are coming up, and they are likely to present a very serious threat. I think they are already presenting a serious threat to actually your port. Now, you have said just a few minutes back that in the next 2 to 3 years, when all these projects will be completed, don't you think that is the time when a lot of your cargo will be taken away or diverted to these private ports? So, you have any plans about this thing, sir?
First, I don't think we have a challenge.
Okay.
I'll think about a challenge if I feel that I can't compete with them. Rather, it's for other persons to compete with me. So I look at this way.
Okay.
Private ports, yes, a lot of private ports have come up. But the whole issue is business will flow where there is efficiency, economy,
Absolutely.
and comfort in doing business. As a port, our endeavor is to make JN Port a unique port.
Right, sir.
As far as port experience is concerned, we are trying that we are much better than the private ports. We are the most transparent port in terms of pricing. If you check any website. Fine. So, my hands otherwise are full, though there is general impression that cargo is moving from this place to somewhere else. As you yourself told in the very beginning, we made a record this year by handling 44.67 million TEUs. So that it shows that we are working with our full of the capacity. So cargo moving is not a challenge. There could be some unpleasant experience, individual experience in the exim trade. We want to handle those. We want to handle all problems wherever we can pitch in, where we can resolve. Or to be more efficient now. As I told you in the very beginning, I want to add 0.3 to 0.4 million throughput this year in JNPCT alone. So we are seized of the situation. We are seized of the situation. We are not like any government department. We are a business organization. We are working to that level where I'm not worried about any competition. Anybody coming, anybody starting a facility, it's his business, his thought process, and his own dynamics. But as far as JNPT is concerned, if I am most efficient, most economical, business will flow to me. I work with this philosophy.
We wish you very good luck with this, sir. But any other information you will like to share with our viewers or readers?
See, the time is changing in India. There is a lot of focus of the government on bringing in more productivity, more efficiency. And with Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Make in India, where he wishes that more entrepreneur skills should be used, more business should come, more export should flow out of India, making India a hub for manufacturing of quality products. Already a lot of things, if you are reading international analyst reports, you must be finding everybody is upgrading India's rating in almost all parameters.
Absolutely.
All parameters.
Right.
So we are looking at a very positive side of India. But when we are growing at this speed, the major challenge is that our port should be in a very efficient position to provide that kind of service.
Absolutely.
So Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Minister of Shipping, both have a vision that this development can be led only through efficient ports.
Right.
So every port, whether it's a public or a private, every port has a huge responsibility in pitching in with more capacity addition, more transparent, efficient service to the exim trade, and bringing all hinterland areas very close to the port in terms of efficient cargo evacuation.
Right.
Unless port doesn't pitch in with this idea in mind, it can be a serious challenge for India's growth story. So, as JNPT being the modern or container port, premium port of India, our responsibility becomes much more. So, unless we are realizing our own responsibilities and improving our own systems, bringing in more efficiency, going to exim trade, speaking to the exporters, speaking to importers, I don't think we'll be doing justice with this whole mega vision, which really transforms India into a manufacturing hub and which brings in more money. Ultimately, trickle down theory says that once the money starts flowing in, it reaches the common man. We normally say JNPT in one way or the other way still exists in every home because one or the other part of their home has been imported or exported through it.
So we can say that JNPT is not only an efficient port but a smart port, right? We are talking about smart cities, so JNPT will be the smart port in that way. So thank you very much for your precious time and we wish you good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.